You can buy a house and you can have a hangar right on the runway with your house. So you can land your airplane and pull it right into your garage.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
No
called hangar.
way.
Yeah. On an airplane, land there at your house, pull it right into your garage. You have a beautiful hangar with your airplane in it and your RVs and your boats and whatever else you got going. And it's in Florida. So, there's a lot of benefits to owning an airplane when you have businesses. Plus, not only that, an airplane, when you use it for business, 100% is literally 100% depreciable. Whereas real estate, you can only take about 35% up front. An airplane, you can take all the 100% up front.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. As long as you use it in business.
Oh my God.
Airplanes, yachts, boats, things of that nature. If it's in a business 100% of the time, as long as it's not being used for personal use, shut your mouth.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back to Things Creative Podcast. Today, I have an awesome friend, Michael's, coming to share with us a lot of things that you have probably not heard about. But Michael is also doing a lot of great things in terms of providing value to a specific group of people. And we're going to dive further in. But how I met Michael was we were associated with a group called Owners Club. And this Owners Club is essentially a group of people who are doing high-level things. And collectively, we get to help each other, support each other, lift up each other, and then, help each other get great things done. Michael, thank you so much for spending the time with us. How are you doing?
Hey, Benjamin. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. Michael, you were just telling me about something crazy, but before we dive into that crazy part, let's talk about what should people know about you.
I am an airline pilot, been flying for the airlines for the past 26 years. I fly the Boeing 737 as a captain. I'm also a line check pilot, so I teach other pilots and evaluate other pilots on getting into the airlines and teaching other captains and first officers. But I've been a big real estate investor and business investor for as long as I can remember, too, over 25 years. I've owned everything from a wedding film company to currently owning escape rooms as part of one of the world's largest escape room franchises. And I'm actually actively involved with building a aviation community right now, a fly-in aviation community. So super excited. I have a lot of projects going on. But one of the biggest things I'm doing now is teaching people how to save on taxes. So that's kind of something I can provide some value to your viewers, I think.
Wow. Look at that. I thought I was busy. Apparently I'm not. Michael, so with you doing tackling so many things all together, what would you say to be the most important thing that you have to equip to be able to tackle so many things all together?
Oh, that's time management is a big one. You know that as well as any busy person. And I think one of our mentors, Pace, really teaches that well is just, and I tell this to my friends too all the time. I go, if you want to put some time, together with us, I would love to, but you got to get it on my calendar. Yeah. I'm very scheduled, very time managed. I leave a lot of time for my family and my kids. I have two kids, they're 16 and 12, my wife as well. So, if there's anything that I do really well, it's my time management, especially because I fly away. I'll go for a couple of days at a time, come home, and I'll even do things on the road in hotels and things of that nature too. But I have it all scheduled, which is
wow, great. Awesome. How often do you fly now?
I work about 8 or 10 days a month flying airplanes. Believe it or not, it's one of those jobs where I call it the best part-time job in the world, but it really pays well. So, 8 or 10 days a month with 20 plus days off a month is phenomenal. Awesome. And you have so much time to do everything else.
And I take it you enjoy flying?
Love it.
So good. Yeah. Awesome. All right, Michael, let's talk.
I'm a kid.
Sorry, what did you say?
I loved it ever since I'm a kid. I actually started flying when I was 13 years old.
Wow. Did your parents teach you that?
No. My dad was a baggage handler for a company called Eastern Airlines very, very, very long time ago, back in the 80s and 90s. And he used to take me to work, collect his paycheck, put me in the airplane, say, "Don't touch anything." And I'd touch every button in the airplane. And I was like, "Oh, shit. That's probably But I loved airplanes and flying since I'm a kid.
So good, so good. Well, Michael, you talk about that you're currently helping people save on taxes. Let's talk more about that. Like, what are you currently doing, and who are you like working with, and what value are you providing?
Yeah, so for many years, I would sit next to another pilot, and for many years we didn't make a lot either. It's more over the last decade or so that our contracts have signed. 9/11 caused a lot of backwards movement to pay benefits and airlines, but about the last decade and a half, things have really gotten much better at the airlines, and pay's gone up. And so you sit next to these people for 5, 6, sometimes 10, 12 hours at a time, and you have conversations you want to talk about. And one of those conversations, usually turns into, what are you investing in? And, I would say a large majority of people are investing in stocks. And that's something that most people, I say to them, do you realize that you are 100% invested in your stocks between your 401k and maybe your day trading, your stock markets? You have no other diversification. And so one of the things we've always talked about is diversifying money into businesses or real estate or other investments. But then the big thing is, and I just learned this over the last 10 years, is tax savings. If you could actually save money on taxes and just take the money that you save as a high income earner and invest it into something like a business or a piece of real estate, you can continually save this tax every single year. And instead of giving it to the government, which encourages you to do this, by the way, it's legal, it's all perfectly something that you could do for yourself. You take that money and funnel it into your own investments, and you make your own wealth and increase your own portfolios. Right. And so what a lot of folks don't understand is their biggest bill every single year is their tax bill. Same goes to their 401k. Their biggest bill in their retirement is their 401k tax bill if they do pre-tax money. So they don't realize it. And once they realize it and the light bulb goes off, it's like, oh my goodness, I could save all this money every single year. I go, yes, if you just invest it into yourself and funnel it into a piece of real estate or a business or something of that nature, short-term rentals, real estate professional status, things of that nature. Once they learn this stuff, as soon as you unlock that, oh my goodness, the possibilities are endless.
I think taxes is the single largest expense to any human being in this country.
Yeah,
right.
Big time.
And the people who know how to do the right thing, or basically do what the tax law encourages us to do, you get to save a lot of money. Now, as a high income earner, you being a pilot, let's do some numbering and let's say, okay, high level, how much would a pilot make? And basically, if they were to do right, if they were to do wrong on taxes, like what would be the difference? Let's quickly walk through that.
Yeah, so regional, it varies very, very widely what salaries are, right? So regional carriers, they'll start a lot lower, sub 100,000. Airline pilots start at around 100, 110,000. And then you can go, captains that have been there 30 and 40 years or 20 and 30, 40 years. They're making anywhere from $400,000 to $600,000 on average, right? And so the difference is really wide. So, but if you consider an average tax rate, let's keep it easy, 30%. And somebody makes $300,000, that's $90,000 in tax, right?
Yeah.
And so what's that?
A year, right?
A year, exactly, yeah.
Crazy.
And that doesn't include, by the way, sales tax in the state and state taxes. That's just kind of federal and all that nonsense. All of that can be funneled into your own investments. And so if you were to able to say, let's just keep it easy, $100,000 a year, right? You could take that money and put it into your own investments and build your own wealth in your own portfolio that way. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I'm trying to tell people, that you don't have to pay that money to the government, and the government encourages you. They want you to do this. Because instead of giving it to them, you're actually giving it to them in a different way. You're just putting it into the economy. Yeah. So the economy benefits from that, but you also benefit from that. It's like tax credits for buying an electric car or something of that nature, or solar or things of that nature. They're just encouraging you to put it into something different. And if you understand that, I always say, like or hate the guy, Donald Trump has solved that equation. And why he doesn't show his tax returns 99% of the times because people won't understand it. And
ego.
His real estate investments.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's perfectly legal. It just, like government is encouraging you to make investment back to the economy. And if you don't do so, then the government will take it from you and help you do that, right?
Right.
And a lot of time the government doesn't do as well as we do.
Right. Efficiency in government is not really known to be, very high. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now, what are the potential investment people can do? Right, you talk about a few assets, a few projects that you guys are working on. Like what are other things that can be the potential investment?
yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for somebody who's a high income earner. Let's start with the basic, right? Somebody who may be single or their spouse works full time, has their own W-2. The best investment for them is probably to go out and buy short-term rental. Somebody who just wants to buy one house a year, short-term rental, easy. You can actually buy it with very little to no money out of pocket too, once you learn that creative ways like we buy things. But a short-term rental would allow them to depreciate the house initially up front and save on their taxes. But you'd have to buy one every year. That's the con. You also have to run it and manage it yourself. You got to put over 100 hours in and more than anybody else and materially participate. There's a couple of things in there that really make it a con. I know that because for years I bought short-term rentals, and while they don't really make a lot of money, the tax savings is great, up front, but it also is a lot of work. And so I've slowly pulled myself away from that because then I since learned about real estate professional status. As a pilot, it's kind of one of the only professions that you're a W-2 that you could qualify yourself as a real estate professional, because you have to put 750 hours in a year. You have to materially participate, which is over 500 hours a year. And it has to be more than any other thing you do. So for me, I'm only working 8 or 10 days a month. So a majority of my time is spent in the real estate world. And so I could qualify for real estate professional. But if you have a spouse or a significant other that you file jointly with, that person can qualify if they're not a full-time W-2 worker, let's say, or a full-time business owner. Even as a full-time business owner, if you did more time in real estate, you would be able to qualify for real estate professional. Yeah. So that's the idea. You want to qualify for real estate professional status. And as soon as you do, that unlocks every piece of real estate. You can go out and buy a 200 unit multifamily property, depreciate that over 10 years. If that property is $10 million, I mean, you have enough depreciation to cover your W-2 for years. So one property can cover for years instead of one property every year. And then a single family property can be, a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then there's other ways you can start businesses too, or you can invest in other people's businesses. But there's so many different ways out there that just educating yourself on how to save on tax and then putting that money to work for you is something that I would encourage the viewers to do.
So before the podcast, you briefly talk about there's two projects you guys are working on. One is a 200 plus units multifamily, and there's another asset. Was it RV park?
So we have my wife is my what I call my real estate professional. She is the key to unlocking a lot of tax savings in our house. Right. Even though I would qualify, I don't need to put in all the work that she is already doing, which is great. And so yes, she is the acquisitions manager on Duran Levy's team, who another Owners Club member, leader in the community. Thank you. Yeah, he's a wonderful man. And a great friend, and just being in his circle, I've learned a lot in this world. It's unbelievable. Just this, being in the right rooms around the right people, really just elevate yourself, right? And that's the idea. But anyway, they're in the midst of buying 230 unit multifamily and RV park and several other properties. They're raising money for that too. So if your viewers are interested in investing in deals like that, getting the depreciation, his website is duranlevy.io, and all his projects, and there you can contact them as well there.
Awesome.
And they're working on what is it? Shepherdslanding.com, SHEPARDS landing.com. It's an aviation community. I am super excited about this aviation community. Right up my alley. It's aviation, it's airplanes, it's flying.
What can we do there?
You could buy a house and you can have a hangar right on the runway with your house, so you can land your airplane and pull it right into your garage.
What?
Yeah, yeah, it's
No
called hangar.
way.
Yeah, on an airplane, land there at your house, pull it right into your garage. You have a beautiful hangar with your airplane in it, and your RVs and your boats and whatever else you got going. And it's in Florida, so we're partnering with a golf club right across the street, so they can get golf memberships. And appropriately, it's called the Aileron Golf Club, which ailerons are one of the flight control surfaces on an airplane that help the airplane turn. So it's like the best name ever for an airplane community.
I am
Uh,
missing out big.
no, you're going to buy one in there. And then we'll fly out jets there, right? In 10 years.
I definitely need to get into that community. Well, I've been talking to a few of my friends. Like, hey, I think I got to get into the aviation space. Because flying up there is just so cool. And the other thing was I'm recently working on a huge deal. This is a 7-store portfolio laundromat that we're buying out in Oregon. And
Congratulations. That's super exciting. I love it.
yeah. Thanks. And the fact that it's actually out in Oregon, there's a part of the portfolio was actually in the inner side of the state, and the seller used to fly from
Nice.
one end to the other, and therefore on their P&L there was actually 2 aircraft that was on the P&L. So freaking cool. And I said, oh my God, how much time you were saving? Like every time I drove, like it was like freaking 4 or 5 hours, but you
Yeah.
flew for what, 40 minutes?
Yeah, I was going to say less than an hour. It depends on the airplane, and especially out there, there's a lot of big mountains and hills out there. So I'm sure they have a really, an airplane that has good performance to be able to get over the mountains and get high of that nature, and probably has some oxygen in it as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of benefits to owning an airplane when you have businesses. Plus, not only that, an airplane, when you use it for business, 100% is literally 100% depreciable. Whereas real estate, you can only take about 35% up front. An airplane, you can take all the 100% up front.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. As long as you use it in business.
Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
all right. I'm going to do some shopping right now.
Yeah. And not only that, dude, by the way, airplanes, yachts, boats, things of that nature, if it's in a business 100% of the time, as long as it's not being used for personal use, so the airplane, what a lot of people do is they take the airplane and they charter it when it's not being used, and then you use it personally for things like this. You fly to another business or, another location. But if you go out and put it into a charter program, or a lot of people do a lease back to a flight school. So they'll lease it back to a flight school. It'll fly all month long. You get guaranteed income on the airplane, so it pays for itself.
Is it easy to lease back?
I don't know if anything is easy in this world.
I mean, for does the aviation school typically need, or right now in the big demands of aircraft?
One of the things about leasebacks that flight schools like is that there's no capital up front. So the students pay for it's just like buying a creatively a building where the renters pay your mortgage, or you pay your debt. It's the same thing. You can get the airplane for virtually nothing by putting it into a school that pays all the debt and the fixed costs. The only thing that you pay for it, even if you have an income on it or not, the only thing you're paying for is the variable costs of fuel and things of that nature that you would have.
Like painting and like repairing and things like that, cleaning.
Yeah, more like repair, but like the fixed costs would be covered, like storage in a hangar or maintenance. A lot of that stuff would be covered by people that would be renting your airplane.
This is awesome. So theoretically, we can go out and buy an aircraft and have the cash flow.
Oh yeah.
Oh
What I would do is go to local flight schools in the area that you need an airplane and ask them if they have a need for more. And if they do, you say, what if I go out and buy one? What do you need? And what can I buy for you? And at that point, you put it into their program with a guaranteed payment, right? Maybe 40 hours a month, guaranteed pay to you, income to you. And then you take it whenever you need it.
Michael,
and we got 100% depreciation, or 90%, whatever it is that you use it for. Yeah.
Michael, we got to work on this together. Like we got to go and buy an aircraft together. Like have you bought a few?
So I've never bought an airplane before because I've never really needed it because I bought enough real estate. But I'm getting to the point where an airplane would be nice. And here's the other thing too. I work for an airline, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I get to fly for free.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to hop on an airplane and go anywhere in the world at any time is really nice
Yeah.
and easy, right? But there comes a point where, now I have a family and my wife and things of that nature and my kids that want to go places. It'd be so much nicer to be on my own timeline, to fly to smaller airports closer to where we want to go, to not have to worry about if I'm getting on the airplane or even buy tickets, which we don't do that often because we fly for free. So yeah, I'm getting close to that point where I would love to own one. We'll see.
Michael, that's plan to work on that. And I'm not just saying that on the podcast. I'm seriously saying that this would be so freaking cool. Because I probably have overthink that for a long while. Like I was like, oh, I need to get to a certain net worth to be able to buy a plan that makes sense. But with what you're saying, really can really cash flow without like as long as you structure it right.
Yeah. Well, look what Pace did. Pace bought an airplane, put it into a flight school. He bought it for no money out of pocket. He put it into a flight school. The flight school pays for the entire airplane, and he was able to depreciate it against his assets.
Crazy. And does he use it as well?
So his son is learning to fly in it.
Wow. Wow. You just blew my head.
I think that they have it in too. Yeah, it's at the flight school that they gave it to, which they have a lease back to. I believe that's how it's working.
Oh wow! Oh my God! Did Pace talk to you about that before he did that, or you were?
No. He talked to Chris
Flint.
Chris Fitch. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah, I was talking to Chris a while back, and yeah, cool. This is awesome. All right. So moving forward, what other thing that you were doing that got piqued my interest was you apparently own a bunch of businesses. Let's talk about the businesses.
I love business as that passive income, right? To me, that's one of those other diversifications I was talking about, to put your money somewhere, park it, and create some passive income, right? Right now, we own 2 escape room locations in New Jersey. Maybe expanding that, or maybe doing something else in the business world. It's entertainment, so it's discretionary dollars. And so, right after COVID hit, that business took a real hard hit. We were able to manage it and work through that, especially with the help of our landlords and that we have a great relationship with. And nurse it through that. And then it came out really, great on the other side, which is great. But escape rooms, we own 2 of those escape room venues. I've owned multiple businesses in the past, and we're thinking about expanding into other things. I know a lot of people are getting into the trades and what is AI taking over? You're doing laundromats, and other people are doing HVAC or whatever. That's not my alley. That's not me. I love Disney, and I love themes, and I love fun. Everything I've always done in business has always been fun. And I know
as well. Just
find those
FYI.
boring businesses, right? Go find those boring, but I'm too bored at boring businesses. Like I don't like them, although I would invest in them. Don't get me wrong. Like if you called me up and I had some extra cash and hey, I'm buying a bunch of lunch, I would do it. But for me, I love the fun aspect of people coming out and having a great time and the entertainment. That's just fun for me. I enjoy that.
Oh my God. I think we're completely opposite. And just for the record, I actually love fun businesses. It's just that I like for investment perspective, I never wanted to bet on there's no another COVID.
Yeah, well, it's discretionary income, so it could always go away. I understand that. I see it. I totally agree with you. I'm probably crazy for doing it, but the ROI is good. The margins are great. And what's great about it is once you set it up, you get good people, right? Vic tells you this, right? Vic Keller says this is what are the three most important things: people, people, and people. I can't agree with that anymore, right? I have wonderful people that work for us. I've had one woman, her name is Lauren. She's our venue manager for 2 of our venues, area manager now. She's been with us since 2016. I mean, how amazing is that, right?
10 years.
Almost 10 years. Yeah. I mean, she's phenomenal. She's a good person. She wants to grow with us. We're even considering growing even more, with her. So it's been a great run so far. We'll see where it takes us going forward. To me, it's the exciting thing is always, what can you do next and where can you go next? And you're always thinking it, the brain, the gears are always turning like, what's next? What can you do? I can't stop, But Pace even says it too. I go, I'm a serial entrepreneur with the striver's curse. Like, I just can't stop. My brain's always.
And if I stop, I'm dead.
Yeah, I agree.
Same here. Yeah, I think we get to live in this great environment, great ecosystem, or this community that, each of us are having fun, just doing crazy thing, and the crazier thing that we do, the more excitements that the entire community are seen as a possibility, and that to me is a huge deal. Like when I'm seeing like people like you, like Dorm, like Pace are doing like big crazy thing, I was like, okay, so whatever I'm doing is just whatever I'm doing. It's time to try different things. And if I think that I'm busy, look at what you guys are doing, right? And really, that is one thing that. What is it?
I say the same thing. I say the exact same thing. When I get into rooms with people like you who are buying 7 laundromats at once, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I could tackle that right now. That's amazing. Like, that's huge.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, I mean, this is probably the biggest blessing that I had for my entire life, really. This just being able to do cool things with cool people. And this is also what I have been telling Pace. Like just for the fact that he built this community and put this ecosystem together. Oh my God. Like this helps tremendous people and not being limited by his own one person capabilities. He's making it to be a ecosystem. So it's so good.
And getting into the aviation community, by the way, was only by happenstance of being at the Owners Club retreat in Miami. And I met folks who were involved, found this property, were involved with it. And I just happened to say, they asked, what do I do? And I said, oh, I'm an airline captain. I fly airplane. Oh my goodness, we're maybe building an aviation community. I go, an aviation community? Ooh, that is right up my alley. I would love to do
good.
To meet these guys. And we started chatting with Jason and Justin, the guys from Truvara, and Luke, if you know Luke Nelson in Owners Club. These guys are outstanding in doing. I mean, if you know anything about what Luke does, he's building a community in El Salvador. No kidding. And not only is he doing that, he's doing big things that I can't even fathom with funds, international funds, and building AI data centers. And oh my goodness, he's started businesses. He is, and he's one of those quiet, understated men who is super nice and in Owners Club, and only being in that room afforded me the ability to meet people like that and get on teams and partnership with people who are doing things that I can only dream of. And now being on this team, I'm like, I need to pinch myself and say, oh my God, they want me. Oh, what, how do I fit in on this equation? And they're like, we want you on the team. I go, oh my goodness, I want to be on the team. This is great. Let's do it.
Yeah, this is so good. These kind of interaction is hardly find outside of community. Right. And the thing is, we are all aligned with our mission, our spirit, and our kind of, value. So it's just amazing. Yeah. Well, yeah. Michael, for people who are listening in right now in our conversation, what would you say if you were to restart? Like, say if you need to start all over again, when you say you go back to like 20 years old, like what your current version is going to tell you, your 20 years version, what to do?
Yeah, that is a phenomenal question. I think that's an easy answer because my kids are 16 and 12, and I teach them this all the time. And that's meeting people and networking and connecting with people. To me, that is, if I would have known that a long time ago, I think I would have been even further than I am today. Networking with people, I think, is one of the hardest things for youngsters and young people to do, because everybody is so caught up in their devices, right? And so one of the things I love, and the reason why I started that business, Escape Rooms, 10 years ago, is that one, I saw the hole in the community for family entertainment. And that was something that I filled, right? I kind of have that knack to see those holes. But then the other thing is that it was entertainment, teamwork, entertainment, by putting those devices down, working together, look at each other in the eyes and working together as a team. And actually, employers come and use escape rooms to interview people, believe it or not, because you can put 5 or 10 people that you're looking to employ there. You can see who takes over, who takes charge, who kind of sits back and watches. Yeah. Who is overpowering, who somebody maybe you don't want to work on the team because of their personality, et cetera. So, and I've seen families get involved in this stuff too. And I'm like, true, they're like killing each other. I go, oh my goodness, you guys need to go home and go see a therapist. But yeah, I would say networking is a big one, and just, and today, of course, the learning AI is important. Being involved.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Like making connection is still something, believe it or not, a struggle of me. I found myself meeting a lot of people, but I don't find myself to be deeply engaged with a lot of people in the degree that I'm seeing a lot of phenomenal people like you, Pace, were able to do. Like it's like your superpower. Like you guys talk to people like 5 minutes and you guys know everything about their life. It's like, oh my God, like what am I doing wrong? Like if you were to be able to tell your 20 years old specifically how to connect with people, what would you say?
Shut your mouth. Spend 80% of the time listening, or 90% of the time listening, less time talking. Nobody cares about you. Everybody cares about themselves. Let people talk about themselves. You'll learn a lot more. And just be curious. Ask questions. I think one of the most insightful and important things I learned being around people who are wealthy and or people who are very successful are, one of their traits is that they're more curious and ask more questions about the person standing across from them than they are talking about themselves. I think that is a big one.
I love it. Wow. So good.
Yeah. So my intentions when I go meet people is more to ask questions and to really pull out of them more about themselves and get them talking about themselves more than I do about myself.
Okay. And then you basically just have this general curiosity on people and basically link with those answers that come up from people.
Yeah. And I think too, you learn a lot about people too. Like last night I met somebody in my airline business. I found out that she is the daughter of a flight attendant that works at my airline. And then I asked a few more questions and found out that we happened to be on the same inaugural flight that I was a pilot on to Ponta Delgada. I was actually deadheading in the back of the airplane and she was the flight attendant. So I just happened to find out that we were on the same flight a couple of years ago, just chatting, talking to her. And then we learned about, she was in real estate too. So we started talking about real estate deals and things of that nature. It was fun. That's, I think the best thing I've learned over the years being in these rooms is just learning more about these people, being more curious than I am talking about myself. Nobody cares about me. They all want to they want to talk about themselves and what they're doing, which is great. Because then we could help them too. That's, I think, one of our superpowers being in this investment group too, is our superpowers are to be able to help people.
Yeah.
And I've always been that way. That's always been my nature. But now learning more that what I can do, I didn't realize I had such a ability to help others until, I really got into this community and learned, wow, there is so much more I could do for others. Why not do it? That's kind of where I'm at.
This is so good. So, oh my God. So guys, if you're listening to this conversation, you got this. This is the golden nugget that always come in the later part of the interview. Now, Michael, what were the other thing that people should take away from our conversation, in your opinion?
Something else to take away? I don't know. I think one of the things that I think most people don't understand very well, like we were talking about earlier, is taxes. So I created a website. It's free. Nobody has to pay anything for it. It's wealthstrategy.ai. People can sign up there for my office hours if they want, or just I created a free real estate professional short-term rental tax calculator or time calculator, so people can track their time for audit purposes. But the whole idea for them is just learn about the tax strategies that save them money. Meet people like yourself or others who have deals that people can invest in and save their money and funnel it into something that will build wealth and portfolios for themselves. So that's I think that would be a big thing for people to understand. Tax savings, tax. That's the,
Yes.
well, we talked about it a lot. That's just one of those things that people either don't understand or don't understand very well.
Awesome. Michael, how can people find you?
My website, wealthstrategy.ai. My email is michael@wealthstrategy.ai.
Fantastic. Guys, please reach out to Michael if you are going to take a serious look at how much taxes you're paying. Michael, again, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time coming to the podcast.
I appreciate you having me. Thanks, Benjamin.
Guys, see you in the next episode.